everybody. Welcome to another Coffee Lounge Talk video. Look at my cup today. It says, grow through what you go through. Grow through what you go through. A good reminder, isn't it? Whatever life throws at us, if we take it as a challenge to learn from those experiences, it is always good, isn't it? It's not easy, I'll tell you, it's not easy. So I'm going to share stories today. As you know, usually I do 1 or 2 Bible verses, and from those verses, I kind of reflected on my life stories. I am no expert, trust me. I became a Christian last year with a very, I would say, unexpected faith turn. So I'll tell you what I mean by that if you're new here. So I'm 40 something, and I grew up Hindu all my life. Half of my life I was in India, and then I was still Hindu after coming here 2 decades ago. And then I was never too religious, but I believed in God. And then after everything fell apart about 2 years ago, I lost my job suddenly, and a few weeks later, I lost my marriage. Both happened at the same time. Whew. Now I laugh about it, but at the time, I can't tell you how bad it was. If you're curious, you can look back on my journey. I had daily videos. I started those videos after like 5-6 months, and then I had daily journaling. Anyway, thank God that phase of my life is over, because that was absolutely the rock bottom. But here is the thing: life will always throw things at us. But now I know the only way to come out of it is action. And what I share with you guys is also that we always live in this 2 zones, like right, the highest frequency zone and the lowest frequency zone. There will always be things that will put it back down here, and sometime it'll be back to back. When it rains, it pours. And trust me, I feel beaten down from last few weeks. A lot of things happened in life, but finally I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna get going. I'm gonna make a few episodes of this, because you know that I usually film this earlier in advance, and then I publish it on Sunday. At some point around the holidays, I do plan on going live. And I'm thinking, because I'm so excited to learn. I have been listening to Bible verses and all of that, and I know a lot of the stories now. And as I do that, I actually feel excited about making this episode. So I'm like, at some point, if I make more of this, maybe from Sunday I can spend it on another day a week. I'll see how that goes. But anyway, so today's verse is, it's all about love. It's all about love. So I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. So the first one, so I'm sharing it from the World English Bible Version. So if it doesn't match with the the version that you have, you may have NIV, you may have NLT. This is the one I can read here because there is no copyright issue. Because the other one has some copyright related rules, so I don't want to get into those. So World English Bible Version says 1 John 4:7. 1 John 4:7. It says, "Beloved, let's love one another. Beloved, let's love one another, for love is God. Love is of God, for love is of God. And everyone who loves has been born of God and knows God." Right? Love is God. And believe it or not, I first heard that from my daughter Alice. She is 9.5 years old now. Last year, she was into the Bible reading. I still do, but she is not. But anyway, I first heard it from her, and I didn't even actually know that is from the Bible. So I was like, you said that? She's like, yeah, I read it from Bible. So anyway, I was just thinking this morning, this is my second cup of coffee, by the way. So when I was drinking my first cup of coffee, we have a couch over there. So I was sitting there drinking my coffee, and so I have this thing that a lot of time I say that 8 billion people in this world, and we have 8 billion unique journeys, which is why a lot of time we don't see things eye to eye. The same experience can tell us different stories. Like if I show you this cup, the story that will go on in my mind will be a little bit different in your mind, right? Just think about it, what it made you think, right? So as soon as I see this, it reminds me of some of the toughest experiences that I had in my life, and it kind of reminds me that I did overcome those. So other tough experiences that come in the future, I'll be able to. Now, even if you have similar story going on in your head, but the experiences are different, right? So anyway, that's a little side take. So I was just thinking that 8 billion people in this 8 billion unique journeys, but there is one language that is common that connects all of us as family, and that is love. That is love. Because all of us, we crave for love that is unconditional, that loves us no matter what. And only way somebody can love us like that is God. But I was fortunate enough, I can say, that my mom, she lives in India, and I was just curious. I knew that India is thousands of miles away, but I was just looking up from here to there where my mom lives. It's if you draw a straight line, it's 8,000 to 9,000 miles away. But I feel her unconditional love. I speak to her only once a week now, because there's a time difference in India. Like right now, it's about 10:15 a.m. here. In India, it's like 8:45 p.m. So the time difference is a little weird. It's like about 11 hours. And if it's morning here, it's night there, or the other way. So sometimes time adjustment becomes difficult. And my mom, she is 78, 79 years old now. So she goes to bed early. And she has a lot of knee pain. Her knees can't be replaced, and so she has a lot of pain. I pray for her. So anyway, I don't want to get diverted there, but the point is that I feel the love. And here's the thing. What lately I realized is that love is that energy that the distance, it goes beyond any distance, right? I speak to her only a little bit on once a week, and a lot of times these days it's unfortunate that I actually don't remember a lot of the words in my language, and my mom can't speak English. And after being here for so long, my English has become like my core language. So a lot of time what happens is that some of the things I want to tell her, it comes out in English, but I can't speak it. So I try my best to speak it in a way that she would understand, but I feel like sometimes I can't express it the way she would fully get it. But I know that she probably gets it, because she just knows me, and she just gets me, and I don't know how, because I have been here 2 decades, and I have become very Americanized. I know it, and a lot of my friends say it. Because last time when I went to India, I had a reverse culture shock. So if you don't know what that is, that means like feeling out of place, and I couldn't connect with many people. And it's not that they have changed, but because I think I have changed, but somehow my connection with my mom still remains. And I think it is, it's God's love that I'm getting emotional, sorry. I think it's God's love that bonded us like that, because God knew I would need that. Oh, sorry. Sometimes this episode's kind of really touches my deeper core, and I think that's the point, right? The Bible, it's supposed to be healing, and it is. I did not expect it as much for me, because I didn't grow up with it. I did not grow up with it. Growing up in India back in 80s, 90s, there was not even internet. So So Christianity or Jesus, all of these concepts are I didn't grow up with. So anyway, whew, my God, I was getting stuck there because that's the thing in life. So my mom loves me unconditionally, and her life is so resilient. My dad died when I was 6 years old. He had a natural death, but it of course had an impact in my life, and I'm sure it left an impact on my mom's life. She was in 40s when he died, and she raised all six of us. My brothers were much older, so three brothers, two sisters, and I'm the sixth one. And so my mom raised all of us, but she's so resilient. She loves me, and I know she loves her other kids too, like that. So I try to love my daughter Alice like that. And I know that it is not like my mom. I aspire to be like my mom, the way she loves me. But we are not perfect, right? We are not perfect. I should have gotten a tissue next time I make this episode, because sometimes it just comes out my tears. So I aspire to be like my mom, but I know I'm not perfect. And that love, God sees it. That's why I also wanted to do this episode, because after divorce, there are so many challenges in life you go through, right? It's not only first picking yourself back up, and then there's co-parenting, and there is your kid going through those challenges, because for them, their whole world is shifting. Because if you think of it, for us, it's like we have had a single life, so we at least know how life is going to be. And there's a funny part. I'm in 40s, so I tell people that if you're in 40s, 40s are the new 20s. And if you're in 50s, 50s are the new 30s. So, there's like, all different, because I'm kind of high energy person. Even in my 40s, like a lot of people, I think in 40s, they're like, okay, life is over. I'm definitely not like that. So I have this high energy. I'm like 20s or something. But because they say that your soul inside is ageless. So, it's all about how you feel inside. People around you a lot of time will tell you that you may not be doing this right, you are doing this, you are doing that. And I mean, motherhood is the big thing I'm covering here, but that relationship, that love, the love that God wanted us to love one another, that spans across those 8 billion people. Your friends, your colleague, your family, all family members, and everybody. Somebody you see at the grocery store, you say thank you to, and you could probably see that the FedEx car, the FedEx is going, so somebody who is dropping your delivery, there's a love, there's a prayer. So I learned something from Norman Vincent Peale book. He used to pray for people he didn't even know. So now I try to do that. The person I don't even know, I try to, sending a little good energy, pray for that person. Imagine so much sacrifice he might be making. He or she, I don't know, I'm just guessing, may have 2-3 jobs, may have kids, supporting families. A lot of people losing jobs. Who knows if he had a different job and then he lost his job and doing this now. You just send a little prayer, some good energy. That is love. That is love. That is what bonds us all 8 billion people. Because in the end, we're all going to die. We're all gonna die. Sometime, sometime life seems like permanent, isn't it? Especially when you're going through the difficult times, it seems permanent. But so many people said it's like when you have good times and you try to hold on to it, it's like sand. You're trying to, capture the sand, and it kind of slips through the holes in between. You can't really hold the time like that, because time is always slipping away. So that's why the good times you enjoy, and the bad times you got to remember to that they pass, and grow through it, right? Grow through it. Wayne Dyer said it best, right? And that's what I try to do. That every experience in life, there is a lesson. There is a lesson in all of them. I started calling it as situational wisdom. So if you're in the DC area, and if you ever work for government or government contracting, you probably heard the term FYSA. Like normally people say FYI, like for your information. So in government, a lot of time, I used to work for government contracting. So FYSA, for your situational awareness. So instead of situational awareness, I came up with situational wisdom. So what it is anything that you go through, and recently I'm doing that a lot. I was doing already, but after I had some pretty brutal experiences in the last few weeks, and I'm like, God, what are you trying to teach me? Because I was not getting it. First 2 times I was able to go through, like, you guys, if you're coming here for a while, I have this triangle, I call it mindfulness triangle: thinking, speaking, action. And I was able to use my own framework to get back up within an hour, which last year would take me like 3-4 days or even a week. So that was a progress, because you don't need more time. You just need the time that you already have, how you can maximize to live more here, not here, right? So I was able to do that first 2 times, but the third time it knocked me down. Like, oh my God. I was like, okay, God, you got to tell me what you're trying to teach me, because this time I'm not able to. And believe it or not, God always delivers, because God loves us, the imperfect, with flaws and everything. And I was able to do my best work, one of the best works, I would say, because it's that part of my soul needed to be unlocked. And it's a journey. Life is a journey where you try to do your best work, but there are something so deep, which is like super conscious. So I say it like even if you're not religious, it will connect with you. So we have the conscious mind, subconscious mind, and there's this thing called superconscious. And the superconscious is which connects us to the divine, to the universe, the God, whatever you want to call it. As for me, it is God, and that is unlimited. That is unlimited. And more you walk towards that, more things will unlock. And if you think that you're about to give up, my friends, don't give up. Just keep going. It's hard, I know, because there will be things in life that you would not expect, you would not predict. First thing is, all of our lives are different. And after divorce, a couple days ago, yesterday actually, somebody, one of my posting on YouTube, commented that he's one of the regular viewer. He commented, and if you are watching this, hi, I don't know his name, so that's why I couldn't mention. But anyway, that divorce was something that helped him to, he didn't use the word reinvent, because I call it reinvention, like, to be like, reinvent the best way possible, the most successful way. And it is because it goes back to love. Because when we feel loved, part of us that unlocks that super conscious, it's a access to that treasure. And there are a lot of treasures. When I say treasure, it's not money treasure I'm talking about. Of course, you know what I'm talking about. Uh, and a lot of times I think, all this, when we can pour out love and care. I'm sorry about the sounds if you guys can hear it. It's actually on next door. They're doing the deck. So there's some in between sounds going on. You guys might be hearing here and there in between. Sorry about that. It's all about love, my friends. So when you feel loved, when you feel God's love, you need to keep looking for that, the signs. And for me, that's the thing. Sometimes I share with you guys in some of this episode the synchronicity that I see, and when I ask for a sign from God, I see it, but at the same time I have to look for it. If I don't look for it, even if God put the sign right there, I won't be able to see it. So one is you ask for what you want. You call it you manifesting, or you call it like, getting it from God. Whichever way it resonates with you, God will deliver, but we got to be ready to receive it. And I will tell you that I experienced in the recent few weeks, one of the experience was that I was not ready to receive. There was something that I was not ready to receive, and I realized it later. And that's the thing. And then you have to also kind of have that self-compassion for yourself, that it is okay. God will hold your hand. God will hold your hand to be ready, because I wasn't ready. Whew. It is deep, isn't it? And if any of this resonates, please do comment, because your comment might really help somebody in this channel. I took on this challenge of helping people after divorce, because I really do believe that God gave me a second chance in life. And the way God showed up for me, I could have never, ever predicted that. I could have never, ever predicted that. The journey even a year ago and now, and my faith journey, I'm growing my faith and deepening my faith in any way I know, and I encourage all of you guys to, I'm not telling you to become Christian, whatever resonates with you, go so deep, my friends, go so deep. Even in the midst of all chaos, all challenges, you will find that love is the most powerful energy out there. Even in Dr. Hawkins, so if you don't know, you can look it up. Dr. Hawkins have an energy scale, right? The frequency scale is called. The bottom one is shame and guilt, which is very common after divorce, because people feel a lot of guilt. Well, what if I did this? What if I did that? Maybe the relationship would have been saved. Or the shame that, oh, I'm a divorced person now, or things like that. And sometimes people do things that they're not proud of, but they have to forgive themselves for doing that. And it takes time. It takes time to forgive yourself to do that. Anyway, so the scale, I tend to talk quite a bit. You guys know that these are unscripted, so that's why also it's like that. And that's my whole point, that be fully authentic, because when you are, if anybody's watching this video, is great. If nobody's watching, if only one person is watching, it is worth it. Because in this world of TikTok and all of that, where you have cut screen and you have to compete with TV, because when you are competing with yourself, your prior version, there is no competition. There is no competition. Anyway, again, I got distracted. Sorry. So the Dr. Hawkins, this frequency scale, shame, guilt, all the way, anger, reasoning. Can you believe that anger is actually beyond shame and guilt? It has a higher frequency than that. Keep going up. And then there is love, there is joy, there is peace, and the top one is enlightenment. Enlightenment is like the ultimate freedom. And you can feel that sometime, like, the Buddhist monk, they do that, or if you're meditating for hours and whatnot, you can get to that zone, but generally it doesn't last forever. It's like you can have micro moments of enlightenment, and joy is great too. Joy is like, I'm drinking this coffee and I'm feeling good. That's joy. The definition of joy and happiness is different, by the way. Happiness is when you get a new job, buy a new house. It's a big burst of happiness, but it doesn't last too long. It's almost like was the sprint and a marathon. You can think like that. So a marathon is like the joy, and sprint is like a big burst of happiness. Anyway, so where I was going with that is, peace is great. If everybody have inner peace, that's great. And joy is also double the joy, half the sorrow. Dale Carnegie talks about it in his book. That book is 100 years old, but it is timeless. But love, my friends, it's that language that touches all 8 billion hearts. Who doesn't like to be loved? A child, an adult, an older person, everybody is moved by love, isn't it? And that's what God said, to love one another. And I don't know, in Hinduism, I grew up as Hindu, and I learned enough, but it might resonate with you. But for me, some reason, I never felt disconnected. Like, not disconnected, connected, excuse me, with God. And in Buddhism, I followed Buddhism for a few months, and if you think that a few months is nothing, the way I do, I'm a vertical learner, not horizontal. Horizontal would be like, okay, learn a little bit about it and move on, but for me it's like vertical. So I learned a lot, but then to me it was like, in Buddhism, you have to do everything in your own. And when you have worry and things like that, I feel like in Christianity, and again, it clicked for me. And like I said, it's not even something I pursued first. It's like God showed me, like, okay, here's this is a coincidence. I'm like, okay, it's a coincidence, I moved it. So that's what kept happening with me. Someday it'll be in a book, you will see. It's just undeniable things that kept happening that I just could not. And you can say, like, why is it Jesus, not my Hindu God? And there's a story behind that too, which will be in my book. It'll be too much to cover here. So it all goes back to love, my friends. Love one another. Because even after divorce, when you're feeling unworthy, unseen, these are the verses that will make you feel loved. So I'm gonna read the other one. The second one is 1 John 4:12. The first one, actually, when I read, I said 1 John. See, that's because I'm new. So I think they said 1 John. 1 John 4:12, the web version, again, World English Bible version, copyright free. No one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God remains in us, and His love has been perfected in us. So I'm going to read it again slowly. No one has seen God at any time. If we love one another, God remains in us, and His love has been perfected in us. If you think of God, universe, higher power, it's that, or like the way I say, like the super conscious, it is also in there, that book called The Power of the Subconscious Mind, Power of Your Subconscious Mind, by Joseph Murphy. I had to think about it because last year I read many books and that was one. So he was a pastor, I think, pastor or like work at the church, something. And his book, they say, if you have a little bit of conflict or understand more, that book will actually tie with your understanding of this kind of scientific. This is one of the best books, they say, which connects the scientific thinking to the Bible and Jesus. So that will give you some perspective, and I would encourage you to explore, because you don't have to become Christian to understand all of this, the timeless stories and how they relate with your life. The whole part of it is about deepening your faith, whatever faith journey you are on, because when you deepen that faith, you have this confidence that there is that something, that beyond something that exists. That belief for yourself within you will grow like you have no idea how it grows. I mean, I say it sounds almost like what am I saying? But trust me, I experienced that. It's the consistency. It's just you just keep going, and then it just happens. So anyway, we haven't seen God, but we see God's sign in a repetitive way. Then you know that there is that something that you are in sync with, and that something is God for me, and that something might be universe for you. Keep looking and remind yourself, especially after divorce, and if you have lost your job, because a lot of people are losing job. In my case, I lost both at the same time, so I was knocked down like that's why sometimes when I get knocked down now, I have to remind myself how I was able to pick myself back up. And looking back, I know it was not me. It was not me, it was God. Because otherwise I could not have survived that. I could not have survived that. It was a lot. It was a lot. And I know that every divorce story is different. Yours might be much harder than mine. But know that God loves you, and there is this 8 billion people, right? A lot of people are praying for you. You probably don't even know. And I'll pray for you if you're watching this video. Not because if you're watching this video, but in general these days. That's what I learned from the books and stuff. Like the guy on the FedEx vehicle, right? You can pray for anybody. Imagine if 8 billion people loved the world, one another, like the way God said, love one another. It is as simple as that. How much peace there would be in this world. There is so much war and all that going on, and a lot comes from the ego, and a lot comes from them thinking that life is forever. No matter if somebody is a billionaire, they're also gonna die. And somebody who earns $1,000 a month, they're also gonna die. That's the one common thing humanity shares, other than we can love each other, the language of love that is common. So with this, 1 John 4:7 and 1 John 4:12. If you feel unseen, if you know that you are doing everything that you can, but the world around you might be telling you that you're imperfect, you're not doing it right, remember that you are seen. God sees you. He loves you, right? I hope you find peace and love and joy, and have that self-compassion for yourself, because for us it's easy to forgive others, easy to it's not easy, but it comes in time, and but it's hard to have that self-compassion. So you got to have that self-compassion for yourself, and that is because that's how God sees us. We are not perfect. So love yourself. Remember to love yourself. Take care. With that, I'll see you guys again in the next episode. Bye.